Welcome to Max Q. We're really excited today to have Yogi Left. Oh, let me say your name wrong first. Let's
Letfus. Let's make a fuss.
make a fuss. Yes. And Yogi is the director of sales. I'd like to make you VP of sales right now, Yogi, and just call you that. But anyway, Yogi is director of sales at Linear. And Molly and I have the pleasure of working with Yogi on a daily basis, which is really, really fun. He is the sales master. He and I talk all the time about sales, and I look forward to hearing Yogi talk about sales from his perspective, not from my perspective of how Yogi does sales. Well, and I know, Yogi, you and I think alike in that sometimes the best thing to do is to pick up the phone and just call someone.
Yep.
You know, with technology is, we talked about not always maybe using the latest technology, or in Andrew's talk, we talked about he did suggest you use the latest technology for certain tools. But I think in sales, you're absolutely right that getting back to the basics, and sometimes it really is just picking up the phone and that old fashioned do the hardest phone call first, and then the rest of them are easy for the rest of the day. But
Yep.
no, and so that's kind of one of my tips. What would be one of your tips to what encourages you to just do that?
Well, I like meeting new people and I like learning. And, the old sales thing is there's nothing wrong with a no, you're one step closer to a yes. And that is the truth. Like, I would
Yes.
rather, we're not trying to push people into something they don't want to buy. We're here to help people in our business. And I just want to help people and help people succeed, right? And if they need our service and they think that they can help us and they align with us, because I think that's important in business. You don't get along with everybody, and we're not here to do everybody's work. We know what we're really good at, and we also know what we're not good at. But with our business, we've also partnered with people that we know are good at that. We've also partnered with people in our business that we didn't want to be competition with them because they're good at what they do. Now, could we have gone and done that? Yes. But then you're knocking out a friendly that's helped us in the past. And that's not what it's about. It's about a community, building a community. So I think that's one of my things. Did I answer that question, or did I get totally sidetracked like a good sales guy does?
No, I actually have a follow-up question for that. So what if you keep getting no's? How, as a startup, right? Maybe you don't have the luxury of the time to get a bunch of no's before you get a yes. You have only a certain amount of dollars. You have a short runway, right? What would you do? Some practical tips to figure out how to get to that first yes.
I think then you've got to start looking at you've got to look at the feedback, right? Picking the phone up and talking to people. I mean, this is sales, understanding why are you not interested in this? There was a technique a little while ago, about 3 years ago, I read this technique, and it was on job interviewing. And at the end of the interview, you sort of say to the interviewer, okay, so is there any reason that you wouldn't offer me this job today based on our interview? And I just went, that's brilliant. Because what's the interviewer going to say? They're going to give you a yes or a no. And if they give you I wouldn't hire you, go, why wouldn't you? And you can then address those issues and say, have I put your concerns to rest? And then you can see where I'm going with this. Then you can dig and go, well, is there any reason now that you wouldn't offer me this job today? And I think it's the same when you're selling to someone. It's like, is my product what you are looking for? And asking those questions. And if it's not, analyze it. I think sometimes too, on the journey of a startup, the product that you have in mind in the end might not be what people need to start with.
Oh, that's a good
And
call
a lot of the times they might go, oh, it's too much. I just need this part of it. Well, to me, that's your hook. You go, okay, let's do a starting here. Let's get in, because that's how you can prove your product and you can develop it to where you want to. But sometimes, and nobody wants to hear this, sometimes you got to turn that switch back a bit, right? And go, okay, I overshot the mark here. This is what they want. I'm going to concentrate on this. And then this will allow me for the money to start flowing in so that I can start building out to where I want. But also you got to listen, because if there's no one to buy the what you think was going to be great, then you got no customers. So you've
Right.
got to listen and adjust, right?
Mm-hmm. No, that's a good answer. And I know we're going to run short on time, so I want Anne to ask her favorite question, which is always, I think, really interesting. So go ahead, Anne.
This is our final question is, what book are you reading?
It can be a kid's book
Oh,
if you're reading to your kids at night. That's my
Yeah.
answer right now. My kids are 2 and 5. That's where we are in life.
yeah,
So that's
well, I
okay.
am reading the Spy School series. Thatcher and I are reading that every night, and it's become a little
Nice.
bit of a every time we finish one, I order the next one, and we're on the last one right now, Spy School North, I think it is. And my wife's like, "There's all these other books," and I'm like, "Oh, we're not interrupting the series." So I would say that that is the book that I'm reading, with a 5 and an 8-year-old. That's it. I will also tell you that I have a stack of books beside my bed, and most of them are business or sales related, which is good to send you to sleep at night for some people, but I find them exciting. I will say this, with a lot of those books, everything you read like that, someone's written it to make some money. And I think it has some great advice in them, but some of them are off the track a little bit. So I think every book you read like that, that's a sales or a management book or a help book, you take your 10%, if that's all it is, maybe it's
Mhm.
50% of the book, and you take your bits out of it, and they work for you. But just because you read the book doesn't mean everything in that book is going to work. That is my biggest thing about the sort of books that I read.
Good answer.
Well, Yogi, thanks so much. This is really fun.
Yes.
And we'll see you tomorrow at work.
Thank you. It was a pleasure talking to you both.